Howdy, folks, and welcome to Moose Podcast 263. Coming to you live from that beautiful state way up north, Alaska. I just got done with an incredibly gorgeous week in Flaming Gorge, Utah. Oh, it was marvelous, marvelous, marvelous. And now I'm up in Alaska. And if you guessed I'm working doing some family portraits, you'd be right. Yep, up with some moose. Be up here for a week. It's been a couple seasons since I've been up here. I can't wait to hit the trail and go find some big bulls. I want to thank you guys for stopping by and all the kind love notes you've been putting out there. Haven't seen a whole lot of questions, and while I love the love notes, I'm here to help you any way I can. So please, if you have any questions, hey, Moose at moosepeterson.com. Happy to help you any way I can, folks. I want to thank my good friends at Bedford Camera, bedfords.com, for sponsoring the Moose Podcast. PhotoCon is just a couple days away. I hope you are part of it. It's going to be a marvelous event again this year. Lots of great learning, sales, interactions, photos to be made, and of course, those killer deals at Bedford's. And remember, whether you're in person or on the phone, remember to mention that MOOSE special discount code. Save yourself some real money. Thank you, Bedford's. Thank you, folks. Let's get on with this week's episode. If you don't have anything nice to say, ... I'm assuming that a lot of you were about the same age as I am and probably heard that from your mom or your dad or someone older back when you were a kid. You know that old saying, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all? Well, you might be thinking with that kind of a title, I'm going to do some rant about the haters out there. Nope. While they're out there, and I get more than I think of my fair share, personally, for those haters, I feel sorry for them. They're in my prayers. They're lonely individuals that, they just don't have a life, and they choose to share their misery with everybody else in this way rather than trying to make their life better. No. What I'm talking about, well, about a month ago, maybe a bit longer, I was at a really amazing workshop, really amazing, with some incredibly gifted folks. And one of the things I start off workshops like that when I have a room full of, a couple dozen people, and basically they're all kind of strangers to one another from around the country, is I start off by asking them to say their name, where they're from, and kind of like what they expect to get from the week with me. Well, without exception, everyone would stand up and say, I am Joe Smith. I'm an amateur photographer. I am Joe Smith, and I try to take pictures. I am Henry Smith, and I just got a camera, and I'm not really any good at it. I am Charlotte Smith, and I've been shooting for a long time, and I just can't take a good picture to save my soul. And around the room, everybody had this qualifying negative statement about themselves and or their photography. And I'm just like, and I kind of said it out loud to them many times, is that if you don't have something nice to say, why are you saying anything? And why are you saying that about your photography in specifics? Why? Did you walk in the door and have to show a print to get in and it had to be better than the one you're matching up to? No. Did you have to send a portfolio in to be part of the workshop? Nope. Had to have that either. I mean, where is this judging body out there that's got so many photographers doubting themselves and putting down their efforts? At the same time, they kept saying, a number of them said, I'm nowhere as good as you. And they're pointing to me. And I said back to one of them, I said, well, yesterday I wasn't as good as I am today either. And they all went, huh? Well, it all reflects in your photography. I don't care who you are, myself included. If you don't feel good about yourself and what you're doing at the camera, it resonates in everything you do when you go click. It's not rocket science, but I really want to know, and feel free to send me an email or 5 or 10. Where is it that photographers have to have a label? And I've mentioned this before, not for a while. One label that I hate and I don't use myself is the term professional photographer. Why? Because everybody says that. And yet they go, I'm a professional photographer, but I'm not very good. Or every product out there is blah, blah, blah pro, software pro, camera pro, tripod pro, camera bag pro. I mean, really? Now, way back when, and I think I had just got my driver's license, and my good friend Roger and I, both photographic bums, one a Canon guy, another a Minolta. We went to a Nikon school of photography. So obviously the camera brand wasn't going to apply directly to what we're doing. And one of the instructors, Trevor Reyes, was up there and he was talking, and he said, so what's your definition of professional? He asked the audience. The audience had this, that, and the other. And he said, well, here's my definition. A professional is anyone who takes what they're doing seriously. So in that definition, any photographer who takes their photography serious is a professional. You don't need to have a label. So those folks in that classroom, even though they said I'm an amateur and all the other stuff, they were in that classroom for two reasons. One, they wanted to have fun. And two, they wanted to become better at their craft, which means they were serious about their photography. Hence, they're all professionals. Why then can they not move past those labels? We're in a time when, labels are everywhere in every type of social media and in camera clubs and in judging. Rather than it just being a celebration, there has to be something attached to that photographic process that, I don't know, justifies it, makes us feel better about it. And I'm saying that's not important. Now, I can only speak for myself in this process, but when I look at my photographs, I don't sit there and trash them out. If I don't have anything nice to say, I don't say anything at all. Doesn't mean, though, if it's a failure, I don't try to analyze why it's a failure. I don't say, God, I'm a horrible photographer because I couldn't make this picture today. No, it's not. It doesn't work that way. Am I always positive about the process? Oh, no. There are times where I'm definitely not. But those times I'm not, I'm probably not shooting. Back in the day, yeah, I had pushed myself, and it kind of made me grumpy at times. But no, I've come to see that it's just a photograph. No matter what happens, the sun will come up tomorrow. The opportunity, if I want it, will present itself again. So why, when there's so many people wanting to put you down, do you do it to yourself? Why can you not, or why can't we, because I can't be left out of this, why can't we just accept the fact that at that moment, we didn't perform to our fullest or to our own satisfaction, which doesn't mean we're, should be put in front of a firing squad, or someone should take our camera gear away, or our computer should be smashed. No, it's not that dire. I think that if you started off by just saying, I'm passionate about my photography, and no other label, amateur, semi-amateur. I mean, I've heard all these things. Why can't we just say we're passionate about photography and our photography, and then go out and do it? Will that in itself solve the photographic woes we have? If we go from Pavlov's dog and we look at that, if we keep saying that we are, just passionate, rather than, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. Don't say any of the other terms. If we do that enough, do you think that might influence how you go about taking that photograph? Might it influence when you actually take a photograph? I had an experience not too long ago with a group, and the shooting wasn't happening. It just, there are times where the photo gods just don't smile on you, and there is nothing there. And you have a couple of options. One, and this is one I use a lot, is I just don't take pictures. If it's not there, I just don't take them. Two, can you make lemonade? If you start out this whole process by just saying, I'm passionate about photography, I think it makes it a whole lot simpler to know when to press that button and when not to press that button. There's a lot of, you could say, guilt that goes along with the fact that you've planned this trip, you've gone on this trip, and you're on this trip, and if you're not clicking, then, something ain't right. What's wrong with just taking a moment and smelling the roses, watching the clouds go by, enjoying the moment until that thing that you're passionate about, photography, comes to life? So, yes, I realize that there are beginners, and there are, all those different layers between that and somebody who is earning their whole living from photography. And there's all these, and I've mentioned it before, all these different steps I think you climb as you get to the point where you are, I think, more than just making a living from your photography. I don't think that's even the end at all. I think that the end point, and you can skip over that part about making money, I think that end point has to be the inner satisfaction that comes from knowing that when it's all said and done, you have this group of photographs, be it 1, 100, 1,000, whatever it is, you have that body of work that you can hang your hat on and say, yeah, I'm passionate about my photography. I think of all the labels that might work best to helping you decide what lens f-stop, shutter speed, everything else, is just recognize that one singular thing, that passion that gets you out there with your gear. Like I mentioned, there are plenty of those very poor souls that we call haters out there. There are plenty of other negatives in this whole thing called photography. Maybe you could have, and I could have, one less by just ourselves being taken out of the equation and just admitting that we like what we're doing without any labels. Because seriously, I think that old piece of advice we got when we were kids can really help us with our photography. If you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. Maybe just say it all with your photograph and your photography. because that speaks volumes. I hope you guys have another great week. I hope to be able to talk to you again next week as I head back into the backcountry with lions, tigers, and bears. No. Moose, wolves, and bears. It doesn't roll off the tongue, does it? But you guys get out there, enjoy what's been presented and saved for us, and share it with the rest of us. Make sure you make every click your story.